So, Mark, did you hear the big news that the Savannah Bananas are coming to town to play at the Las Vegas ballpark? What is this team? Are they like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball?
I really don't know. Like I saw in the show notes, I'm like, okay. I mean, I respect the name, probably has cool swag and all that, but I even watched videos, like the highlights and stuff they did. I still have no clue what it is. Like at one point, a guy was hitting on stilts. He was like 2 stories tall, hitting a baseball. And another time, there was only like one person in the field, and the guy hit it and then tried to run around the bases. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like people really enjoy it.
Yeah, it looks like they sell out every game, according to the research I did. And now they're coming to Las Vegas, so you guys can check them out. It sounds like fun. I think it would be a cool thing to go see. And yeah, I guess the closest comparison I can think of is the Harlem Globetrotters. But stilts, I didn't see that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he was like way up there, and then they pitched it high. He did not hit it very far. He was definitely out
Yeah, he
because
was.
he moved slow.
All right, Mark, the big news of this last week was the announcement of Hard Rock and all of their intentions for Mirage as they got in front of the gaming control board. We did an entire video just a few days ago covering every single detail, and there are a lot of them, so make sure to check that out on the channel. Basically, they're doing a full redevelopment, going to gut the building, building that guitar tower, adding restaurants, more than doubling the casino space, quadrupling the amount of tables. So much is going on, new pool area. So I'm excited for that project. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's probably the one I'm most excited about of the the next 4 or 5 that are rolling out over the next 4 or 5 years. So Hard Rock does a really good job. Everybody loves their properties, in Atlantic City, Florida, all over the country. They have a good program. The old Hard Rock wasn't really tied into them, so it's kind of cool that they're bringing their brand and their loyalty program in that you can use around the country. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I know the guitar will rub people the wrong way, some people, but I'm all for it. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, make sure to check out that video because we went into full detail, including how tall everything's going to be. Yes, that guitar tower is huge, but a lot of exciting details there. So you can find that on the channel. Let's talk about robotaxis. For a couple of years, Lyft has had robotaxis in Las Vegas using a company called Motional, which is a partnership where Google kind of started it. And then I think Hyundai is involved with their Ioniq 5s. And now Uber has launched them in Las Vegas. You just pull up the Uber app and you can now call a robotaxi. These are level 4 autonomous robotaxis, meaning that there is no human intervention required. Although because we don't trust technology yet, there will be a human in the car just to intervene in case. But this should be pretty widespread, and on the strip, you should be able to get one right now.
I mean, if they have humans in the Teslas in the tunnels, they're probably going to have it here too. So, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. You always hear the stories of people crashing in these autonomous vehicles because it can't decipher, certain things, or a white truck gives its problems or whatever. But you only hear the bad stuff, and it's not that often. So I'm sure they're, just as safe, if not way safer, of a human driving it. But I would feel a little bit better testing it out, at least in the beginning, with somebody in there. I don't know that it would necessarily help at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of weird things happening with cars. There's that new car rental agency in downtown that will deliver the car without a driver to anywhere within that space that they allow, which is basically the downtown area. So you just tell them where you want to pick it up, and they remotely drive it with a driver remote controlling it from somewhere else, and then you drop it off
That seems
anywhere
more
in that zone.
dangerous.
Yeah, it does. I don't even know how that's legal, but it seems like. And then you just drop it off anywhere in the zone, and then they drive it back to wherever they go. So there's a lot of this sort of stuff happening, and this is the future probably, but it's going to take time, as you say. We're in a transition period. And for now, you're going to have that human ready to take control. All right, Aerosmith had to cancel the last 2 shows of their residency because of a Steven Tyler illness. They announced on Instagram that basically they're canceling the shows, that it's not life-threatening, or he's expected to recover, but he's not able to do it. So probably just a bug of some sort. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised at their age that they're even still doing shows. So kudos to them that they're getting out there and doing what they love. And I definitely, if I had that much money, I'd just be at home, drinking and having a good old time. But they're out there singing, putting on a show, and I just imagine, we're in Austin and we lost our voice after one day of talking loud because the bars are so loud there. I couldn't imagine singing every night and what they have to go through to prep all that. So just a little bit of a bug probably destroys your whole system, and and you're not able to give the show that you want to give. So hopefully he recovers quickly, but just impressed that they're able to do it every night.
What is it with rock and rollers of that era, like Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler? Like those guys, they lived a life, right? I mean, they were just going hard for so many years, and they're still going hard like into their 70s as far as performing and everything else. So kudos to them, and they need a couple days off. They can get it.
Yeah, like Elton John, Billy Joel, like everybody from that era just is, I'm never giving up.
Yeah, and we can't go 2 days without losing our voices. Shame on us. All right, some other sad news. Mills Lane, the very famous referee who oversaw the Fanman boxing match back in the early 90s, and then, of course, that Mike Tyson Holyfield one where Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, and so many others. He died at the age of 85, and I think he's just sort of cemented in Vegas lore specifically because of those two matches. I remember being a kid and seeing the Fanman match, and then I remember watching the Bite live, something I'll never forget because it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And who would have thought like 20-something years later, Holyfield and Tyson would be selling ear-shaped edibles, but that's the world we live in. Mills Lane had a huge impact on the Vegas community and in the sports community here. He was also a lawyer and did a lot of stuff. He's been kind of out of the spotlight since the early 2000s. He had a stroke and was kind of paralyzed, and he wasn't in the best of health. But he even had, after the boxing matches, he had that show. I don't know if you remember it. It was like a People's Court knockoff or a Judge Judy knockoff, Judge Mills Lane, and it was fun to watch him do that as well. Really cool character.
Yeah, boxing was a little the heyday of boxing was kind of when we got old enough to care. It was kind of the end of it. So I never really got into it. My dad was into it a bit, so I didn't really know him from boxing. The thing I know him from that you didn't bring up is Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you remember that on MTV with the Clay characters would murder each other with like their pop references and stuff. It was such a great show, and he was the referee in that show. So that's how I know him, and I loved, he was great in that and doing the voice and everything. And that show was just, I think it came back for a little bit, not too long ago, but that show was pretty crazy too, and he was a big part of that.
Yeah, I used to love that show back in the day. Rest in peace, Mills Lane. You were a great guy and a great influence on Las Vegas, and I'll never forget those boxing matches. He always commanded the ring. He was one of the best.
I think him and the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy are the two people you think of when you think of fighting, for sure.
Definitely. All right, so commenters on this channel always love to say, anytime we talk about growth in Las Vegas or something new getting built, what about the water? And as someone who lives here, I can tell you that they're very concerned about the water, even though they just keep building new houses. So I guess they're not concerned enough. But over the last decade, I'd say you've seen so much grass get torn out, and obviously there's water restrictions, and on new homes you're not able to build grass, all kinds of stuff like that. But there's been sort of a combination. In many areas they're taking out grass, but in some areas like golf courses, they're planting a different type of grass called Bermuda grass, and they're just doing that in the Anthem Country Club, for example, and changing over. It's going to save like 30 million gallons of water a year, which is an insane amount of water. And they actually are doing this all throughout the parks in Henderson. I think a couple dozen parks by the time they're done. And they did it to the park right down the street from me. And it took a couple of months. Basically, they killed out the grass, replanted the new grass, and they put fences around it so people couldn't walk on it. And when the new grass grew in, it looked exactly like the old grass. So it's just like, why aren't we using this grass this entire time? I don't understand. But I think this is a good thing.
That's my question. Like, I'm shocked at how much, this saves water. Like, I knew some grasses are better in hot areas and some don't need to be watered as often and stuff. But you think that, they would know this? They would have known this? Bermuda grass isn't something new. It's been around for a long time, like way before we were born. So you would have thought like all these new golf courses they built in the last 20, 30 years, they would have required them to use this type of grass. Same with parks. It just blows my mind that this was never thought. I mean, I know the water situation's way worse now than it ever was, and the growth has kind of, grown leaps and bounds in the last 10 years or so, but I'm still shocked that this wasn't ever considered before.
Yeah, and Silver Springs Park, the one that's down the street from my house, not too far from me, it looks beautiful. Like the grass has survived. It really doesn't look any different. So I think this is a good move. I'm glad the city of Henderson is keeping some of the grass in the parks. Some areas they are removing. This is a huge project going on through 2026. And you're going to see this as other places like golf courses. So there is effort to conserve here, but there's no effort to slow down growth, which is, I guess, not a good thing if you consider that more people equals more water usage, but that's the way it is.
I loved in the fee video somebody suggested, and I think they even like brought this up as like a hypothetical in the future on their earnings call or something of if you take too long of a shower, you're gonna get billed at checkout, which I could totally see that. Definitely if it was Caesars.
All right, so what's also hurting, it seems like, is Virgin Hotels and the Mohegan Sun Casino. Our friend Alicia, longtime viewer, love her and love her interactions on Twitter, sent us this thing that she received that the Momentum loyalty program at Mohegan Sun is offering referrals.
It's a
meaning
terrible name, too.
You grab a friend and you get them to sign up for a casino loyalty program, and then you both are entered into a drawing to win. I guess this could work really well for couples, right? Because one person could sign up and refer the other. But I think it would be really awkward to like call your friend up and say, yeah, let's head over to Virgin. You can sign up and I get the referral. And then maybe I don't know. Is this desperation?
It's desperation a bit, but it's also like cheap because, I mean, you think about Vegas, or not Vegas, so you think about Atlantic City and all the signups they have there, and it doesn't require somebody to refer you. They'll give you like a couple free nights. They'll give you comps to use at the restaurants or at the in their lounges and stuff. So this is just to sign up, and I'd rather get a free play or something. Like, give me a $25, $50 free play if you want to give a bonus for referral, so you know people will bring them along. I get that, but a raffle that you don't even know if it will happen, or you know you don't get to watch it or be a part of it, it just seems like, hey, let's try to drive engagement, but let's do it as cheaply as possible. I'd rather give me something guaranteed and small, and I'm more likely to come in versus, you know, a potential lottery, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have done something, given the person signing up something and the referrer free play or something like that. So this is how it's working. It's 10 pairs of people will win every month. And the prize package is up to 3 nights at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, $250 momentum dollars, so slot play, and then $100 for your friend. So the person referring gets $250 if you win the prize, and the person who signed up gets $100, which seems weird. Why not just give them both the same? And then 3 nights.
Let's start a fight
Virgin
between
Hotels.
people. Cool.
And do they each get 3 nights? It's not clear. Or do you have to like figure out who gets to use the nights?
You gotta share the beds. You gotta share the rooms. It's Virgin. It's so weird. I don't understand what they're doing there. Just bring back the fun. It used to be a fun property. Just figure out how to make it fun again. You got the shag room or whatever. That's fun. You know, more of that. That's what I would focus on.
I agree. I think the fun people don't care about referring friends for a potential thing either. So I don't know if they're attracting the right crowd with this. You know, we both loved Hard Rock, the old Hard Rock Las Vegas, and we've been tough on Virgin, no doubt, and people will give us crap for that, but I think you summed it up perfectly. Bring back the fun. The place just doesn't seem fun, especially the casino, the atmosphere there. There's many, 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 many other casinos, including tons of local casinos that I feel have a better atmosphere that I would rather be in, and that's sort of a problem there. It's just too dark, too disconnected. And, you know, hopefully they'll get this figured out. I do think whether it's this operator or another one, it will eventually get figured out. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, this does feel more like a locals type of offer. So, and I think that might be something they could pivot to, like focus on the locals, try to be more of a locals casino. It's not on the strip. It's easier access. It's even a great like airport night before fly out. Focus on that type of stuff. Or if you're coming in for business or something and you want more of a low key environment, I think that's where their niche could be right now versus what it was before. And I think that's what people wanted, the old Hard Rock, and just keep it the same, different name. But I mean, Virgin has that kind of cachet. It feels like a fun brand everywhere else. I don't know why they weren't able to do it here. You know, look at the airlines and the cruises and everything. Everything's really well done and really fun. And maybe Richard Branson didn't have enough say in this, and that's the problem. But it's just kind of crazy. There's a big disconnect at that property for sure.
Yeah, I think a huge mistake they made was not integrating the casino and hotel together. I think this whole piecemeal thing where each restaurant's run by someone else, the Hudson Group running basically airport shops inside the casino.
That's still the worst look in Vegas. That Dunkin' Donuts and that news, the Hudson News in a casino is the weirdest, worst thing I've ever seen, and it's so bad.
Yeah, and then you have the casino run by Mohegan Sun. The hotel is very decent. I loved my stay there. I really liked the room. It's probably not to everybody's taste.
Mexican restaurant's really, really good too.
Yeah, so they have good bones, but it's just all very disconnected. I think if Virgin had brought their brand throughout the property, It may not be perfect, but I think it would probably be better. And I don't know how they fix it, but they're continuing to work on it. Maybe this will work to bring people in. But I know that I wouldn't go sign up for this. I wouldn't go take my wife, even if I could guarantee we both get the refer. You know, I refer her, and so we both have the chance to win. Yeah, like it's just not worth it. Try again.
She'd go for $50 in slot play though. She'd
Yeah,
show for that. Yeah,
there you go.
That's easy. Most people will play through it until it's gone anyway, so it doesn't really cost you anything.
Yep. So let us know what you guys think. Is Virgin desperate? Is this a good plan? Are we going to see more casinos have these sort of referral programs? I know that, there are promotions that have been similar to this, but this just seems like the most direct I've ever seen. So let us know in the comments there. Obviously, the Mirage News, the water, those Savannah Bananas. Have you ever seen them in person? Is it worth going to see? Let us know. And if you like this channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you receive notifications of all of our videos. We do 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. And I'll be back in just a couple days, solo, with another news video while Mark is off in Europe. Enjoy.
We didn't plan to wear the same clothes for 2 episodes. We just filmed twice because I'll be gone.
Yes. Yes. So you get to see us looking the same. But thanks so much for watching. For everybody who's subscribed, the channel is doing super well, and we really humbly appreciate it. It's been fun to get in the comments. I read every comment, try to respond to as many as I can. There are so many, but we really appreciate the discussion, the support, and we are so glad that you guys are enjoying the show as we do this twice a week. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
See ya in about a week.